You can't be so scared about what you're gonna lose that you don't fight for what you have. And so I'm just all about I'm gonna fight for mine. I don't care what I lose as far as some future deal. Not that I'm just walk in all gangster and just make people do shit, but I'm gonna be myself
Right.
in all situations, and I don't care what it costs, because that fear is not living.
What's up, geniuses? Welcome back to For the Record, and I'm your host, Rob Markman. Now, you know we got the hottest artists, the most legendary artists come through this show. I don't know if you can get more legendary, more esteemed, more accomplished than today's artists. If you think about gangster rap, yeah, he built that. He architected that. He gave us classic political messages on, America's Most Wanted, Lethal Injection, Death Certificate, gave us Friday. You might know him from Straight Outta Compton. Maybe you like Players Club. However you know him, you better respect him. He's here today, Mr. Ice Cube.
Yeah. What's
Welcome
happening
to For the
with
Record.
you?
Can I get one? Yay, yay?
Yay.
Wow, man, that's amazing, man. Cube, man, thank you for coming. New album,
Yeah.
Everything's Corrupt.
Yeah.
Out now. I want to get back into like when the light bulb goes off in your head that you're gonna start working on this thing and name an album Everything's Corrupt.
Usually I start working on music, just start with vibes and concepts and just kind of start the record. And hopefully the name will like come out of that. You see what I'm saying? The name of the record, after I start, I get a rhythm and then I want to name the album. So when I finish the record, I can complete it under that umbrella because I like, concept albums. So no different with this. I'm always recording. It's still my hobby. It's still fun, and I still do it when when I'm bored. I ain't got nothing to do. I like to go to the studio and do music and create. So I'm always in there. And so when I named the title, Everything's Corrupt, it felt like, oh yeah, this explains the time, the album, the flavor of the moment. And so, I'm very particular on those titles, so I was happy that I came up with that one.
Even with the album art, with the blood money and just that, you've always given us very powerful messages and powerful imagery. When hip hop was really forming and finding its voice, especially in mainstream. I mean, we talk all the time about Ice Cube being one of the main architects of gangster rap, along with NWA. I think what we don't talk about enough is you also helping us as a culture to find our political voice, along with cats like Chuck D and Public Enemy, who you work with. But Cube was never afraid to say what was on his mind. You didn't care who you pissed off. You didn't care who might ban you from where you were going to speak the truth. Where do you still find that passion from?
I think that's what it's all about. You can't be a safe rapper. You gotta tell it like it is. And, my records, nobody's exempt. Nobody gets a free pass on my records. I'm probably gonna talk about something you doing, and you probably ain't gonna like how I put it.
Right.
But it's gonna be real, and it's not gonna be, done to do nothing but help you pass that moment, help you through it, or just highlight that, you fucking up. You see what I'm saying? So I've always kind of been like that, been able to, cut past the bullshit and just really be real and just do those kind of records, because those are the kind of records that turn me on. And so I'm blessed in a way that I'm not doing things that's outside my nature.
Right.
Like some artists feel like they have to chase, charts or spins or views or whatever. And I feel like a free artist that don't have to chase nothing.
It's amazing. I saw you once comment on you not necessarily having the chart toppers, right? Like the Billboard, the number ones on Billboard, and there's some artists who, Drake is breaking all types of records and chasing the Beatles, and
Yeah.
but you've always had platinum and gold, so your stuff always sell. But even more than that, and it seems like what's might be more important than Ice Cube is you have classic records. Like It Was a Good Day might as well have been the number one record in the country. The way we still talk about that record,
Yeah.
25 years later. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah, to me that's and I think as an artist, I just like I said, I've been blessed to just do what I feel and not be a chart chaser or numbers chaser. And at the end of the day, people respect that. People respect that I'm gonna do the kind of records that I feel and not that I think I should do. And when you stick with your convictions and you're consistent, people bless you with longevity, and that's what's happening. People have said, "Yo, Q, I might not like every song you do, but he ain't wasting my time. It ain't trash. It's definitely thought out, and it's definitely some love put into the mix." So with that, like I said, they blessed me with this longevity.
I just want to commend you because I think, a record like Arrest the President,
Yeah.
and we see what's going on in the world. I mean, right now there are at least 5 former Trump aides that are cooperating in this special counsel against Trump, this investigation, like maybe impeachment, I mean, there's real criminal activity going on. Like, we'll see
Yeah.
how this all actually shapes out. But to make a record, Arrest the President, and listen, man, you're doing big business in Hollywood, with the big three, the basketball league that you started. I'm sure you're doing a lot of negotiations with different television networks. There's probably a lot of Trump supporters that you come in contact
Without a
with.
doubt, yeah.
During the day. Has this ever hindered you? Have anybody ever said, "Nah, I don't want to do business with Q because he went too far"?
Nah. I mean, I'm pretty sure people have backed off because they're just scared. They don't understand art is art and, business is business. But, some people can't like differentiate the two. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's cost me deals and money. But at the end of the day, it ain't cost me my soul. It ain't cost me my point of view. And somebody don't want to do business with me because I make a record. That's on them. That's their loss. You know what I'm saying? Because I do great business.
Well, you're not hurting,
and
brother.
I'm a great partner. So I don't let it bother me. You can't be so scared about what you're gonna lose that you don't fight for what you have. And so I'm just all about, I'm gonna fight for mine. I don't care what I lose, as far as, some future deal.
Right.
That don't matter to me because what matters is right now, not some future deal.
Right. And I want to salute that because it made me think about that when I heard Non-Believers over this new project. And you said, I made a promise to myself, I'm going to keep it gangster always, even in the hallways of corporate America, break down the barriers.
Yeah.
Like, and when that line hit me, I was like, damn, but you've actually done that throughout your entire career, man. And I think that's something to be respected and celebrated,
I appreciate it. I just made a promise that I'm always be myself. That's really what that's saying. Not that I'm just walk in all gangster and just make people do shit, but I'm gonna be myself in all situations, and I don't care what it costs, because that fear is not living. That fear is playing it safe, and that ain't life.
Arrest the President. Any more letters from the FBI? We know that NWA famously got one from Fuck the Police.
I mean, I haven't gotten any. I don't see why I should. I'm the last person they should worry about.
Right.
As far as doing something physical. It's really all about doing art that reflects how I feel.
Do you feel the way? Look, man, Fuck the Police was so groundbreaking at the time because I think America wasn't used to that type of commentary. And if you came from the inner cities and you saw these things, it wasn't nothing new.
Yep.
When Fuck the Police came out, And throughout your career, it wasn't just fuck the police. Often we talk about fuck the police, but talking about like endangered species, who got the camera. Like Cube has been saying this for years. I mean, on this new record we have Good Cop, Bad Cop, which you actually released last year and is a part of this album. How do you feel about decades later? I just want to, in relation to like Good Cop, Bad Cop, and fuck the police. Has anything changed?
I think it has. Before fuck the police, you couldn't even. A police didn't even get accused of lying, really. Judges and courts and juries didn't think police ever lied to them. So, fuck the police, along with, what Ice-T was doing, along with the actual Rodney King incident, made it where, okay, police are held accountable. If you do something, you may end up on trial, and then we've seen police walk. But now, we've seen police get convicted. Right. You see what I'm saying? So there is some progress, because if you break the law, no matter what, if you got it on badge or not, you probably go to jail. And so that's starting to happen. It's not frequent enough, but if you do look around, there has been a few convictions for some wrongful deaths that I'm telling you, without fuck the police and these constant like examinations of how they do their thing, that wouldn't have never happened.
What made you write Good Cop, Bad Cop? What was the moment that you said, you know what, I gotta go back in because it still needs to be said, like this still needs to be addressed?
Just the wave of events. It seemed like Straight Outta Compton pulled off a scab that was highlighted, but seemed like that movie enhanced everybody's feeling and had everybody thinking the same way towards this subject. So Good Cop, Bad Cop, you're not gonna change the police department really from the outside. You have to change it from the inside. So Good Cop, Bad Cop is my appeal to the good cops to get these bad cops and these bad apples out your bunch, because you done lost your respect and your dignity because of these dudes. And the community, I don't care how hard the hood is, will respect the police if they come in there and do their job and not overdo it, not turn into bullies, and not turn into just, excessive force, organizations. And so, it's just an appeal to the good cops to, get these dudes out your force, man.
We talk about that blue wall of silence.
Yeah,
that they talk about. Yeah, man.
They want you to snitch, but they don't want to snitch on each other.
I hope you're right, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we definitely need change. We definitely
it ain't an avalanche of change. Right. You know what I mean? It's a trickle.
Right.
It's a trickle of change. Put it that way.
But it's interesting to hear you explain it about how the nuance of it, if we track it from fuck the police to Good Cop, Bad Cop, the way that you're attacking it, or the way that you're appealing to the minds of just America and is a little bit different. You're trying different tactics.
Yeah, you got to. You can't go in the same way. Fuck the police is already done.
Right.
It's really like, let's try different approaches to try to appeal to, I want that cop to think about my song in that moment when he's about to do something when he know he shouldn't be doing.
Right.
Hopefully it'll stop him.
Do you think out of this new generation of rappers, man, is there anybody that you feel like is carrying on that legacy of really speaking to the community and speaking to like the sociopolitical, issues?
I mean, I like what J. Cole does. I think he's a great artist for that. To just come with the real, not too much whoop on it. You know what I mean? Just real, raw, human feelings. It's artists like Kendrick, the Kanye album, a few albums back, I think it had Black Skinheads on it.
Yeah.
I love that record. I love that record because I felt like it was saying a lot. And so, there's artists out there that still do it. I want Kanye to get back to that. You know what I'm saying?
We all want Kanye to get back to that.
it's artists that do it, and they've taken chances, and they've said what need to be said, from their point of view.
Another thing that you attacked on this album, 2 songs actually, Bad Dope
Yeah,
and On Them Pills.
yeah,
And, it made me think about, again, you being an OG in the game. I mean, you talk about this new drug epidemic, these prescription drugs and what they're doing. And we lost artists to just drugs in general this year alone, Lil Peep, Mac Miller most recently. Do you ever feel like with this message, I feel like sometimes when the elder statesmen of hip hop try to talk about the drug problem, there's a pushback from the youth. Well, y'all was on drugs too, or y'all the ones who sold it to our parents. Y'all glorified the selling the drugs. How y'all gonna tell us not to use it? Do you think about, as you're writing these records, how the message will be received? Because you speak and you still rap very bluntly.
Yeah.
Like Ice Cube verse is like a punch in the face, and you don't skirt around the issue. Did you think about how younger artists and just the younger generation might receive this message, and if they were rejected or accept it?
It's accept it or let it alone. It ain't no mystery. You know what I mean? It's like most people are gonna reject it because they probably gonna see themselves in it, and don't want to look at that dark side of what they doing, and that's cool. But if I'm a rapper and I'm spitting the real, I gotta spit it how I see it, and you ain't gonna always like what I say because it's gonna be real. And a lot of people don't like for you to speak on what they doing and what they into. And everybody got their vices. I mean, I got mine. You know what I mean? So, I ain't fucking with no pills, but everybody do what they do, and I'm not hating on them. I'm just laying out the facts.
How was it like, especially coming up in the 80s, like during the crack era? I feel like a lot of people in the community experimented with crack, and I feel like hip hop was a big, like it was almost recreational and cool until you saw what the effects of it was.
Yeah.
And you had records like, Self-Destruction, a lot of what KRS was doing, a lot of the Bassheads records that P did. There was a lot of pushback from the hip hop community about what the drugs was doing.
Yeah, because we saw crack take our community from a community of respect to a community of disrespect. It used to be grown men who respectable men, had families. This crack come in. Year later, dudes is on the corner kicking him in the ass, telling him to give him their money.
Right.
And this was a respectable man with a family that nobody would even walk on his line before this shit. So we saw it take down respectable people. So didn't none of my folks that I knew or was around wanted to smoke or touch crack on that level. Now, there was an era, kind of, a generation like right before us who did a lot of experimentation.
Freebase and this.
Yeah, it was like primos and stuff like that before they knew that it would turn you into a crack monster. And so a lot of them got caught up before they knew the effects. But our generation knew the effects, and we could see it, and we saw what it did to you. So, smoking on like some cocaine was, to me, like you want to be a crack monster. You want to be a strawberry. You want to be something that ain't desirable to the hood.
Yeah, I remember when hip hop. I mean, even if you think about NWA, Express Yourself, Dr. Dre famously saying he didn't smoke cess on the record. Things changed and marijuana became cool in hip hop, but there was a real anti-drug message then. So
because it took us down a notch. We was on another level before them drugs came, and it took us down a lot of pegs. So we know what it do, and that whole weed era, chronic, all that, start making like, smoking dope cool. And so, but it was still weed, you know what I mean? It wasn't nothing crazy.
Right.
But these pills, these chemicals, man, that's just, you don't know what's in that stuff, man. Somebody hand you a pill, you pop it in your mouth, man, you don't know what's concentrated in that.
Right, so hopefully people heed that warning, man. Because I think you're right. I want to get into something else, man. I definitely want to kind of give you your props, man. You definitely a legend. I feel like you set off a lot of things, and like I said in the beginning, a lot of times I think we kind of start with the gangster rap, and because that was so big, we never get off of that. Earlier this year, I seen Nicki Minaj drop a record, right? Mm-hmm. I'm gonna tell you how it ties to Ice Cube. She dropped a record called Barbie Dreams, where I don't know if you heard it, where she talked about all the dudes that it was a fantasy record that she wants to have kind of sex with in the hip hop industry. So, and she kind of dissed a lot of rappers, but it was playful. I saw a lot of outlets, especially mainstream outlets, kind of like, your E's and your People. It's like, oh, Nicki Minaj's new diss record. She disses Designer and Meek Mill. But those of us in hip hop tied it back to when Biggie did Dreams of fucking the R&B bitch, and it was like, oh, that's homage to that. Or when 50 did How to Rob, where it was a diss record, but it was playful, and it was a homage to that. Yeah. And when we were having that conversation, I'm like, well, did this really start with Ice Cube when he did Jackin for Beats? Because Jackin for Beats was a very aggressive record where you were taking beats from EPMD, the Humpty Dance, the Underground, even Public Enemy, who you were working with. And at that time in hip hop, you didn't do that. You didn't rhyme over anybody's beats, and you definitely didn't call it Jackin for Beats. Yeah. I want to go back to that. Do you feel like that's kind of connected? The Biggie's Dreams, the Barbie's Dreams, the How to Robs, the Jackin for Beats, like this playful diss record?
Yeah, I mean, I never looked at Jackin for Beats as a diss record at all. I thought it was a homage to so many dope beats coming out that year. And it was like, how can you be an MC and you hear, D-Nice and not want to rap off that beat, or you hear EPMD and not want to rhyme off that, or Welcome to the Terror Dome. How could you? And so I was like, yo, and the word jacking back then, it was like a nuanced word. People really didn't know, it was kind of a West Coast nuanced word. So, I was like, yo, I'm jacking for beats, but it wasn't like, you whack, I'm taking your beat from you. It was more like, stealing, you made some cookies, you got full off of them, but I took the last 3. It was more of like that.
So you didn't get no pushback? Like nobody?
D-Nice was like, yo, he was on tour with me. It's like, yo, man, what's up with this Jackin for Beats? I said, man, I love that beat. I had to do it. It was too fly. And he was like, oh, okay, I get it. I said, yeah, man, I ain't dissing. It's love.
But you see how somebody could take it the wrong way?
Yeah, somebody could take it the wrong way, but like you said, it's so playful and so clever that, you got to give it a hip-hop pass. Just like those records you said, they so playful and clever that you just got to salute and say, he's a slave to the concept. You know what I mean? She's a slave. This concept is so fly. How could she not rhyme what she need to rhyme to make it what it's supposed to be? And, a lot of rappers just got to get over themselves a little bit.
It just hurt me that so many, especially the media outlets, didn't get what that record was, because I think we have such a rich history. And maybe I was reading into too much Jackin for Beats, but I was young at the time. So imagine maybe being 8 or 10 years old and Q, give me that beat, fool. And you like,
a full-time Jack move.
I thought him and Chuck was cool.
Even if you're down with my crew, I jacked them too.
Nah, that's dope, man. I want to get into again earlier this year, man. You was active on Twitter. Again, I love how vocal you like. Everything Ice Cube do is kind of like just in your face. It ain't no shortcut around it. You're gonna say what you say. MGK and Eminem had a battle this year. Yeah. And there was a lot of debates. I think a lot of fans were very excited about this battle. Somebody has said that the MGK record was the best diss record of all time. And here comes Ice Cube on Twitter and said, nah, it's still no Vaseline.
It is still no Vaseline.
You said, yeah, right. 1-on-1 will never beat 1 against 4, plus Jerry Heller murdered the track, killed the group, game over.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like, that song was like a bowling ball. You know what I mean? Just knocked everything down out the way. So, what am I gonna say? You know what I mean? What the fuck am I gonna say? But it's been some great diss tracks, but I just feel like, time, place, space, it was right, and I think, it's really timing that makes the battle. where are the groups in their career and how hot are they at the time they go at it?
What? Give me 5. Do you got like a top 5, or do you think about things like this of diss records?
I don't really think about it. Some of my favorites, is, original Rock the Bells and, and Let's Go. You know what I'm saying, with LL and Kumo D.
LL was a beast.
Yeah, Let's Go, is crazy too.
Right.
Jack the Ripper, great record. But then you got, disses like Nas and Jay, that's just crazy. Tupac, Biggie going back at it. I mean, Hit 'Em Up was crazy. It's been some good ones,
Do you think there's rules? I think with the Pusha T Drake battle, people started getting this conversation of how far is too far. Pusha mentioned 40 and 40 being sick, and I think everybody in hip hop loves 40, man. Like, nice dude, talented dude. But that was their battle and that was their thing. And some people charge Pusha with going too far.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that there's a such thing as too far in a rap battle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it is. I think, when you start talking about kids and family, wives, and it's just too far.
I feel like Pac changed. I feel like when Hit 'Em Up came out, like Pac changed the rules of engagement.
I mean, I think he went too far too. Yeah. Me personally, I ain't got to diss. If I'm mad at you, trust me, I can think of 5 verses for you, just you. I don't have to go at your family and your kin and your kids and your whole life. You know what I mean? It's one-on-one, mano-a-mano in a way.
One thing I thought, I always remember thinking about No Vaseline when we heard it and was coming up listening to it, was we knew that the problem was with Easy, and Dre had said some stuff on the record, the Benedict Arnold line and stuff like that. Man, you gave Ren a whole verse, and I was like, man, I thought you and Ren at least were cool.
Sometimes, me and Ren, we the closest.
Right.
He's like a brother. So the closer you are, the more it hurts. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So I was really hurt about the fact that he didn't roll with the truth.
Right.
Which was what I was spitting to him, but Easy was his homeboy, and so, I love Ren to death, and I don't even do that verse.
Right.
If I perform it,
you won't do the verse.
I won't do the Ren verse. I'm done.
Because you and Ren were really kind of like the true MCs. In a lot of ways, Ren might have been your only competition lyrically, if we really think about it.
Yeah, I mean, DLC was nice too.
DLC was nice.
DLC was like another level. But Ren, it's like, I damn near hate that verses even in the universe, because I got nothing but love for Ren and Yella, Dre, Easy. It's like, it's cool for the time, but it's kind of like,
past that.
Yeah, let's forget about that part.
Still the greatest this record of all time.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
A few months ago, man, I had Jonah Hill up here.
Yeah.
And we were talking about he's such a hip hop head. He said It Was a Good Day is just one of his favorite records. We started talking about the mythology around it. I know you answer this all the time. I know here on Genius, we're always trying to dig and scratch for the truth. Yeah. There was a blogger who pinpointed the day in January 1992.
Yeah.
But you said this isn't a real day, right?
No, it's not a real day. It's a fantasy of a good day. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, to me, It Was a Good Day is to records is what Friday is to movies. Yeah. It's just, all that didn't happen on a Friday, but it's cool to wrap it all up in one package, so it's a lot of good days mixed into one.
I'm gonna tell you something, man. You gave me jokes for, like, my brother gonna hate me. My brother's name is Craig, right?
Oh, shit.
So one day, my best friend calls me, yo, man, you gotta come over to the spot, man. Craig got something to tell you, man. I'm going over to the spot. My brother Craig got fired.
Damn.
On his day off.
Oh, nah.
And it was a Friday.
Oh, what?
Dog.
That is like...
We killed him. I still joke on him for that. So I just want to thank you because you gave me ammunition.
I feel you.
For a lifetime.
That happened to my brother, too. He got fired on his day off. That's where I got that story from. My brother got fired on his day off. He went to see George Clinton and M. Toomey, Juicy,
Juicy.
Juicy,
Yep.
yeah, at the Coliseum. The next day was his day off. He was faded. He was faded. He wanted to go get his check. So I'm gonna pick up my check. My mother said, "Do not go up there like that in that condition. I'll get my damn check." About 90 minutes later, I heard him come in the door. "Mama, I just got fired." Like, what? I'm at the door. Ooh, this is good. I'm at the door. Like, how you get fired on your day off? I was like, damn. That's only my brother. It's got to be my brother. Fired on his day off.
That's awesome. That's an amazing story, man. So that's where it came from. Man, Q, man, I can sit here. I know you got stories like this for days, man. First of all, that Friday thing. I don't know if I ever heard that before. I think that's a gem, man. That's amazing. Thank you for sharing. But Everything's Corrupt, man.
Yeah.
I just want to salute you for being like still putting out albums. I know you got a lot of things going on, just still being passionate about hip hop and pushing it forward no matter what, man. You never changed with the times. You never kind of sold out or changed who you were. When you pick up an Ice Cube record, you know what you're gonna get. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's super important, man. So thank you for that, man. Thank you just for being you.
Yeah.
All right. Now, before I get you out of here, man, I do want to have a little fun. I think we're all fans of hip hop. We're all fans of this culture. So I always ask every guest this. Is there a verse that you didn't write, that's somebody else's verse, but you could rap because you're such a fan of it?
It's a few, you know what I mean? I ain't rapped in a long time, so it might not be all there. You might can help me out.
Right.
But it's bass. How low can you go? Death Row, where the brother know. Once again, back is the incredible rhyme animal, the uncountable D, public enemy #1. 5-0 said freeze, and I got numb. Could I tell them that I really never had a gun? It's just a wax that the Terminator X spun. Now they got me in the cell because my records they sell because a brother like me said, well, Farrakhan's the prophet and I think you better listen to what he could say to you. What you want to do is follow for now. Hell what the people say. Make the miracle, depump the lyrical. Black is back all in. We're going to win. Check it out. Yeah, y'all, come on. Here we go again.
Ah, hip hop is fuck.
Yeah.
Chuck D, classic Chuck D verse. Ice
Bring
Cube.
the noise.
Bring the noise, man. Yo, Q, thank you, man. Thank you for your time, your energy. I feel like that's gonna go viral. We're gonna send that right to Chuck, man. We blowing up the internet with that, man.
Yeah.
But Everything's Corrupt out now, man. Thank you for coming on For the Record, man.
Oh, man, for sure. Thank
Much
you, man.
love.
Dope interview.